I'm sorry, Dave.
My reason for getting up in the morning is just to do something to solve this problem.
So this film is about the disease, Huntington's disease, and you decided that you wanted to give a voice to it because?
Well, mainly I think because there isn't one out there. I mean, a tangible one. There isn't a lot of awareness. You ask 10 people and 9 people won't know what Huntington's is, and it seems to me that the sort of most aware people are of Huntington's is through the fact that Woody Guthrie, the famous folk musician, had Huntington's, and that seems to be about where people's knowledge stops. And then they don't really even know what it is that he had and what the disease encompasses and what people go through when they have Huntington's and what families' lives are like when they're affected by Huntington's. And so we, through a very personal connection and observation and emotional engagement with a friend of ours' mother, saw an opportunity to expand that window of understanding and give people a chance to know more about Huntington's than the fact that Woody Guthrie had Huntington.
We can and will overcome this.
I was going to ask, why is it taboo to talk about it?
I think it's taboo because it looks pretty scary, and when a person has this disease, it means that their children, if they have children, have a 50-50 chance of inheriting it.
Gosh. Oh my gosh.
And you don't want, maybe you don't want your family members to know about that. Maybe you don't even know what's going on. We've met so many different people that don't even know, they didn't know that it was in their family, and then they were diagnosed, and that meant that their 3 kids were then immediately affected. And also insurance companies, there was a lot of issues behind that, if they would still support you if they found out that you had Huntington's disease.
Coming out of this tunnel, and we can see pathways that really bring incredible hope for the future. And so we each have a role to play, and I think this journey is going to have a much more optimistic end.
The story that is in the film, and that was the story of Katie Bradley, who's the mom that had the son who was the youngest diagnosed case of Huntington's in America. And we spent about a week with her filming her and her family in her house and in the surroundings of where they live. And then we sort of decided, like, oh, we should go back and get a few more things for B-roll, or like we don't feel like we have enough, and so we called her and said, we want to come down, and is there anything that's happening that that might be valuable to tell the story? And she said, well, Matthew's passed away. And so
How old was he?
4.
He was 4 when he was diagnosed. He was 6.
6 when he passed away. So we went down and we were allowed to film the funeral, his funeral, and that phone call and that sort of process of re-engaging with Katie and seeing her strength with Matthew alive, and then seeing her strength when Matthew had passed, was just her as a human entity was just sort of spellbinding, and just created a sense of awe about what you can actually withstand and how hope and belief and faith in your own abilities to survive anything can carry you through some pretty difficult times. So.
Be curious.